Hi, Andy Evans here. Welcome to part 19 of making a guitar in your garage. Okay, so I'm going to talk about fretting guitars. Um, okay, so this is a nickel silver fret wire. This standard. It's a medium to wide, quite a high fret. This is what I'm going to use on my guitar at the moment. As you can see, I don't have enough. I need to order some. So I'm just going to talk about fretting guitars. I'm not actually going to fret this guitar. I've got some on order. Fret wire. So there's three different types of fret wire at the moment. There's some stainless steel stuff. That's very hard. I believe it's very good. I've got a friend in Manchester, luthier, called Jed Green, and he swears by it. He says it's very good. You skim it, you polish it, and it stays polished for a long time. You get that nice fresh feel to the frets, freshly skimmed feel. I've got no experience of using stainless steel, and I believe it's quite hard to use. Okay, so the other option is gold Evo. That's a bit softer than stainless steel, a bit harder than nickel silver. It looks quite attractive. I will use some at some point on my guitar, but for the moment I'm just keeping it simple using standard nickel silver guitar, fret wire. This is medium to big width on this, quite high. Okay, so I like to buy it coiled, already coiled. You need a fret bender. What you have to do, this radius has to be bigger than the radius on the fingerboard that you're putting it into. If you try and put a flat piece of fret into a radius fingerboard, it springs up at the edges and it just doesn't seat properly. So what you're aiming to do is have this radius bigger than the fingerboard. I don't have a radius, I don't have a fret wire radiuser. You can make your own with 6 bearings, a piece of wood, and push it through. I will do at some point make one. For now, I have a very nice little champagne bucket here, silver one, which is even better. And the way I bend my fret wire is around here. You've got it's a compound radius, which is very good, so you can get all different radiuses on your fret wire. So I just put my fret wire around it and I bend by hand like this, you know, to get the correct bend. The first inch is very difficult to bend because it's hard, you know, you cannot bend the first inch, but the rest of it bends around quite well, and you just do that. So that's how I coil my fret wire. The next thing you need is, so you need your fret wire, you need a metre to 1.5 metres for a guitar. You need something to cut it with. I bought these from the local hardware store. I'll just show you them. They're just wire cutters, but I've ground them flat here. So that's a nice neat edge there. Normally what I do, I put a piece of tape like this, stick it to the table. Can you see that tape there? With the sticky side up. Stick it down like that. Okay, and then what I would do, I would start cutting frets. I would cut, this is 24 frets, I'd cut all 24 frets out. I'd actually cut them a bit bigger, about 2 to 3 mil bigger on either side, 3 mil bigger on either side. Because what you find when you cut them, you get a rough edge here, and you don't want that stuck in your wood. So cut a little bit bigger than the actual than what's needed. I cut them all out. I stick them onto my tape here in order, because when you start banging here, they bounce around and they all come out of order. So I stick them on like 1 to, you know, the first one here going to 24 frets here. Okay, so let's just do one as an example. I'll just cut one to size. Okay, there's one piece cut. As I say, this is a bigger radius than the fingerboard. You need that. The next thing you need, I've made this out of aluminium, thick. It's about 4 mil aluminium there. I've made this radius. This is a 10 mil. Sorry, part of a 10-inch radius, which is in centimeters, 25 centimeters. So I've got this edge here, and I've also got a flat edge. So you need one of those. You can make one of those very easily. A mallet. That's a mallet and that's all I need. I know you can have all fretting hammers and things like that, but I use this. And what I do, I use glue. I use wood glue, PVA. I just put some PVA in the slot here. I normally do 4 frets in one go. I'll cut 4, put the PVA glue in the slot like that, and then I put this on the fret like this. Give it a good bang. That's a 10-inch, so that will knock down the edges. For what you're aiming to do when you fret a guitar is knock these edges down first, 2 edges here, and then afterwards, once the edges are knocked down, then you knock the middle down. If you try and do from one side working across, it doesn't work. They keep springing out. So basically, I use this. You can see that radius there. I put the fret underneath here. I whack it like this, and then I turn it. Once the edges are down, I turn it to the flat edge, and I use the flat edge to seat the middle of the fret all the way along. I have a wet rag, and I just wipe off the excess glue from the wood glue. You can use Type Bond, any type of wood glue really. Water-based is good because you can use water to wipe it off just a little, or alcohol, even better. So I do 4 at a time, and then I do another 4, basically finish it off. I'd love to do that now, but I don't have enough fret wire to start, so I won't do that. I'll just talk about it. Once they're all in, I leave it 24 hours, and then I trim the frets up with this again, like that, and then I file the edges with my homemade fret file. So that's it really, fretting a guitar. I'll go over it very quickly. So you need a bigger radius on your fret wire than the fingerboard to start with. When you knock it in, when you knock the fret down, if you have something like that with a nice radius here, knock the edges in first, the outer edges. Then you flip it over and you knock the middle bit in. One good thing about using wood glue, well, you know, to put them in, you can see if they're seated properly. If you bang it again and more wood glue comes out, it's not seated. So it's very important to seat them properly. There's no gaps underneath. You have to wipe away the excess glue and have a look. And if you whack it again, more glue comes out, it needs to go down further. And that's it really. You put them all in, knock them in. Oh, you need a support like this. This is just something I made on the bandsaw. It's got carpet. Carpet's very good to protect the neck, and you cut a radius there. I've cut that on the bandsaw and then glued some carpet in. So that will go underneath the neck here, supported. When you do stuff like this, always make sure your bench is totally clean underneath. You know, you can put towels underneath, protection. If you get one little offcut of this underneath your guitar, it's a disaster. It'll put all little dings in the guitar. So be very wary of that. The offcuts, throw them away straight away. As I say, I leave it 24 hours, then I trim them up with the edge, this cutter. File at 35 degrees with this. Put some plastic on the guitar here, on the body to protect it. Cover it with thin plastic or something like that. You can tape that on there. You don't want to scratch the paint. Okay, so that's how you fret a guitar. I'll give you a quick tip on refretting a guitar. Actually, I used to do a lot of refrets when I worked for Gordy Guitars. Used to old Gibson guitars with refret, gold tops, ebony fingerboards. So I'll give you a very good tip to get the frets out on a old ebony brittle fingerboard. What you want to do, the first thing you want to do is skim over the frets with some sandpaper on a block. Rough them up. You get a soldering iron with a bit of solder. You heat it up like that, the fret. That softens the glue below. We used to have 2 chisels. 2 12mm chisels like this. We'd grind it so it's radiused underneath the chisel like this. So like that, 2 chisels. But normally your instinct to get a fret out would be to lever the chisels this way. But what you do, you put your chisels in this way, and you'd lever that way, and this rounded beveled edge of the chisel would push the ebony down so you don't get any flakes coming out, and lift the fret up at the same time. Let's say you've done your soldering and you've heated the glue before, you've heated the glue, that softens it, and that's how you get them out, the frets. So there's a little tip of the day. I've done lots of refrets in the past, you know, but as I say, always be aware of these little offcuts. You've got to be so careful of them. I'll be fretting a guitar soon with some binding, with some ebony binding that I've made, and I'll show you how you do that, because it's a different technique. You cut away a piece here and then you file it. I know you can buy tang trimming cutters. I just use snips. I just cut it there, snips there, file in the vise, each one. It takes a bit longer. It adds a good 40 minutes to a refret, but there you go. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll get some more fret wire ordered. I'll do another podcast on fretting this guitar a bit later date. Thanks for watching, and press the subscribe button if you like what you see. Always leave me a comment if you want to. I'll answer any questions you've got. Okay, see you next time.